Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Nerd Shit News.
Nerd Shit News, yay!
Light shite.
I am Liz Torrey. I will be your moderator today. Who else is in here with me?
Sam Wilson, the Falcon. Here we go.
Sharon Wilson, the actor.
Zack Schneider, not the director, but also an actor.
I'm still waiting on that Schneider cut. I've seen the Snyder cut, but where's the Schneider cut?
Yeah, I'm looking.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to get everyone to add nipples to their suits, and not everyone's into it.
Takes time. I understand.
You
Well,
give
we
up
have
the nipples.
We have a plethora of things to talk about today, but let's open up with some Star Trek 4. Who's excited about Star Trek 4?
Yeah, I mean, basically, so they announced, the studio Paramount announced that they are making a fourth Star Trek movie within the Kelvin timeline, and they announced that the cast, Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, Zoe Saldana, etc., are all coming back for that. Everybody was excited by this announcement, including the cast, who actually had no idea that they were coming back for this movie until it was announced in the press.
Well,
This is kind of hilarious to me, I gotta say. And I saw something that basically stated that by doing this, Paramount has pretty much shot themselves in the foot because now they have no negotiating power. Now that they've announced this, they have to bring the actors in now, and now the actors can ask for whatever paycheck
whatever
they
they
want
want.
because
Right.
they're already announced, and it's
Yeah.
like, well, yeah. So
Oops.
Chris Pine can be
Kinda
like,
screw
"No,
up
you get me
on-
an elephant." And
yeah, they
gotta-
probably should have cleared that with the actual actors at their management before announcing that the cast are coming back. But
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'd even screw that up though. I'd be like, okay, I'll do it, buddy, but I'll do it for $1 million.
Yes,
Oh,
right.
what? I was gonna get 20? Son of a bitch!
yeah, it's this whole Dr. Evil thing. It's like, Dr. Evil, you've been in ice for a long time. 1 million, like with inflation, that's really not as much as it was back in the 60s. Like,
Dang it!
But, it's funny. It's like sometimes you hear these really sad stories about like, I found out that I wasn't getting picked up for season 2, when I read it, in the online, and it's like, it's nice that it kind of goes the other way too. It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm in a movie,
it's
great.
like, yeah, they're coming back. Oh, we are.
Oh, it's fantastic. I didn't know about it, but I'm glad. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
Zoe
Steady work.
Saldana has acknowledged that they'll be making it without Anton Yelchin. So, that's a low point. That's
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah,
I wonder
well.
how they're going to handle it.
I think, honestly, because they're in a different timeline, they're not beholden to any particular original canon as far as what happens with
Yeah.
Chekhov.
Mhm.
I think the classy way to do it would be to say that Chekhov got promoted and transferred to a different ship, and just say he's not there anymore. I mean, that would be how I would do it if I were writing it, because that's
However-
a way to keep the character alive without.
No,
having to-
I
yeah.
agree, but however they do it, someone's going to bitch about it.
Of
No, for
course.
sure.
Someone's gonna say,
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
They shouldn't have done that. They should have like CG'd him, or I mean, someone's gonna
Mhm.
want that.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know
He's
who.
already
but-
like one aspect of it is he's already the second actor who's played Chekhov already. They
Yeah.
could recast him and
Mhm.
just put somebody else in there. And since he's not even like, oh, it's blasphemy, it's like, well, he's not even the original actor who played the character to
Yeah.
begin with. So they could do that, but I think like there's not really a reason to do it because I love the character of Chekhov, but I can't imagine that whatever story they're going to tell is like completely dependent on having Chekhov. Like,
Yeah.
honestly,
Right.
Well,
Right.
it was pretty important in the last Star Trek 4 that we had Chekhov to say Wessels all throughout. the
yes, that's true.
like
Nuclear
50
whistles.
times. So,
Yeah.
nuclear
Hey, what's Walter?
whistles.
What's Walter Koenig doing? Maybe they can just get him again.
Oh.
Well, yeah, like 80-year-old Walter Koenig. I saw somebody say that they should bring him in as some kind of weird multiverse, like time travel, whatever. Which I mean, they could if they really want. I mean, they already had Leonard Nimoy in
Yeah.
the first.
Yeah,
two,
they did.
It's been
movies.
done. It's been
Yeah.
done. Do they
Yeah.
have to do it with all the characters? I don't think
Yeah.
so.
I agree.
Yeah.
Just have him pull, Doc Brown. It's like, look, I am back from the future, and I'm going to tell you your kids are screwed up. Come on, Kirk.
Exactly.
God, Zach, your accent was way better than his, I gotta say.
I like Anton Yelchin's accent. I don't
I do
like Walter
too.
Koenig's
I do
accent,
too.
but- Well,
I miss
Anton
him.
Yelchin is actually like he's Russian American, like he has
Mhm.
Russian parents, so that's kind of why.
I never would have gotten that from his name.
Yeah.
What? A
I
man
mean,
named
of
Anton?
course, he still does the pronouncing V's like W's, even though that's actually a German thing, not a Russian thing. But he just he
Right.
did it as an homage to Walter Koenig's shitty accent.
Right.
Walter Koenig, we love you. You're great, but
Yes.
I'd love to see him.
Yeah.
But that's me. I like
It'd be
that
fun.
type of stuff.
It'd be
I-
fun.
it would be
Why
fun.
not?
I wouldn't hate it.
But I don't know. I think that this is probably the last Trek movie that we'll get to have a chance to have any of the original actors. in. I hate to
They're
sound
all
like
they're
that,
like
but
all at
they're in
least
their
in their
80s.
80s. The ones
I was
that
gonna
are
say,
left,
are you implying that they're all
The
gonna go
youngest are in
tits
their
up?
80s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shatner's like 90. Shatner's
Yeah.
like 90 years old. Like he's old.
I
and
really
those are
do
the ones that
wanna-
are left.
I
Mhm.
really do want to see Shatner get a cameo in this one because he has been trying his damnedest to get a cameo in one of
Mhm.
the movies since they started. And I know he's hard to work with, but
Yeah.
he is actually a nice person, and I would really love to see him get that one last chance to say goodbye as Captain Kirk.
Yeah. It's
Mhm.
tough with Kirk because I mean this is I guess past spoilers for the older Star Trek movies, but they had talked about bringing him into Star Trek 2009, but the reason they didn't is because Kirk died earlier in the
Yeah.
timeline.
Mhm.
And Spock was still around, so they could bring Spock back and have him back in time. But Kirk died in Star Trek Generations, and I know that there was a book series where he came back, but that wasn't really considered
Ashes of
canon.
Eden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like, are we really going to expect the audience to have all read this one book
He wrote
series
it.
that Shatner
Yeah.
wrote? Exactly, Shatner.
Yeah.
And but
He wrote a
again,
trilogy.
the canon status of the Star Trek books in general are kind of nebulous anyway.
Yeah.
They actually
So-
took his idea and made it into a movie and called it Nemesis.
Yeah,
That was his plot,
Mm.
yeah.
but it was done with Kirk instead of Picard.
Oh, like was it like there was a
Yeah.
younger Kirk clone that he fought, or okay,
Wow.
Yep.
interesting.
But it was older Kirk. It
Yeah,
was older Kirk. They just brought him back to life using nanites, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
it was definitely sci-fi, but it would not work for a movie. I think
Yeah.
changing it and doing it with Picard was actually quite interesting.
yeah.
But I'm looking forward to the new one. I love the Kelvin timeline.
Oh
Me
yeah.
too. It's
I
fun.
I
It's
love
those
so
movies.
fun.
Mhm. I do too.
I think they're
Mhm.
fan favorites. I
Mhm.
I honestly don't think there's anything too weak in the. Well, we've talked about them on the.
Yeah.
Yes,
podcast,
listen to the Nerd Shit podcast. We've actually reviewed all three of those: Star Trek, Into
Mhm.
Darkness, and Star Trek
Mhm.
Beyond. At some point, we gotta go back and do those the classic treks as well.
Mhm.
But yes.
I don't know if I could make it through the motion picture.
Now what? You know what? I don't
Mouth out a
mind that
lot of
movie
caffeine.
I don't mind it as far as like the story goes. I think it's a good movie in terms of story. It's hard to get through. Like
Yeah.
and you really you kind of take a nap during like the big shots of like the ship. just
Yeah,
going through
it's
space.
beautiful, but
It's like
Hey, man.
and then like
Yeah.
the shuttles back
Mhm.
into the ship.
It is super
Yes, but
so
you
bad.
guys are spoiled. You can like watch it and like pause it and like go do things. I had to
Look
go see it
at
in the
your phone.
theater. I saw
Oh,
it in the
no, yeah.
theater.
oh,
It was-
I can only,
that
I
was
can only
tough.
imagine where you go in, you're excited. It's like, oh, greatest Star Trek, and then like 30 minutes later, they're still in space dock, and they're still.
yeah, it was a different style of filmmaking back then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hear Twisted Metal is a thing.
Yes.
Sharon, would you like to
Yeah.
share?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So Anthony Mackie, our other Sam Wilson,
The fake.
has been cast in Peacock's new Twisted Metal live action series. It's going to be a half-hour comedic show, which I
Ooh.
know. I see your face, Sam. I see your face. It's funny because it's actually the rights to the show, the video game were bought by Will Arnett, that Will Arnett.
Oh,
And he is executive producing it. It's
smart.
going to be written,
sake.
and the showrunner is going to be Cobra Kai writer Michael Jonathan Smith, which I think is
Ooh.
interesting. Yes.
Interesting.
Mhm.
So, in case
Sounds pretty
people do
cool.
not know what this is, I got this information from Deadline.com. They say, based on the classic PlayStation game series, Twisted Metal is a high-octane action comedy based on an original take by Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick about a motor-mouthed outsider offered a chance at a better life, but only if he can successfully deliver a mysterious package across a post-apocalyptic wasteland. With the help of a trigger-happy car thief, he'll face savage marauders driving vehicles of destruction and other dangers of the open road, including a deranged clown who drives an all-too-familiar ice cream truck. So,
Well, I know I had that kind of knee-jerk reaction when you said comedy, but actually, when I thought about it for like 2 seconds, I was like, actually, that makes complete sense.
Mhm.
Twisted
Mhm.
Metal has always been kind of ridiculous, like
It
on
has.
purpose. Like again,
Mhm.
the main like antagonist of it is a clown who drives an ice cream truck. Like that is
Yeah.
from
Right.
the games.
If they treat it
And-
like
yeah.
Zombieland, Zombieland,
right.
think
I
it
was
would
actually,
be
and I was thinking about like The Boys or
Yeah.
what's that one that's Peacemaker?
Yeah.
That's what I'm imagining. I'm imagining this kind of ultra violent, kind of a Mad Max-ish, but with this,
Mhm.
large, vein of humor running through it.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
kind of what
it
I
was
imagine.
definitely always kind of a parody of Mad Max. The games.
Mhm.
It
are.
was.
Yeah.
It was. I'm excited. This will be a lot of
Mhm.
fun. I love Anthony Mackie. He's
Oh, yeah.
fucking
Mhm.
phenomenal. He can do anything.
Mhm.
Anything.
But have we seen him in comedy? I mean, we've seen kind of that light comedy, that banter in Falcon and Winter Soldier, and a little bit in the Marvel movies. But I'll be interested to see him in an actual comedic role.
21 Jump Street. He's in.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think
I've
he
not
might
seen
be in
that.
something. He might be in something else. He's been in a couple comedies, I think.
Mhm.
I just think that movie is so weird to me. I never saw it because 21 Jump Street was originally like a really serious show.
I
You
know.
know?
I actually never saw the movie either. I know he's in it, but but I keep hearing it's really good actually, and I keep meaning to watch it. But yeah.
Right.
But no, I think this could be really entertaining and really interesting. It's kind of this weird kind of, again, Mad Max kind of parody
I'm
show.
I
Yeah.
am down.
Yeah. I know nothing about Twisted Metal, but yeah, sounds fun, and I'm in.
The
I don't know
games-
anything about it either. I was like, oh, Anthony Mackie, this is what he's doing next.
The
That sounds
games
cool.
don't really have a storyline. It's basically just kind of like a roller derby thing where like
Mhm.
it's like a big multiplayer thing. Everybody's just driving these cars and you're just smashing into each other. Like they
That's-
really
yeah.
don't have a story. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was surprised that they're so old. The first one came out in 1995.
Yeah, it's
Which-
PlayStation
Those are
1.
classics. Yeah.
Yeah,
PS1,
it is.
yeah.
It kind of reminds me, thinking of the Twisted Metal. It kind of reminds me of. Do you remember when well, I'm a little older than you two, but when we were kids, there was Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Oh yeah,
they
for
were-
sure.
Yeah.
They were
Yogi,
like racing.
yeah.
Mhm.
They took all of the cartoons and they put them in a race, and it was
Oh
this
yes.
ridiculous race.
What
Yes.
was it?
I'm wondering.
Wacky
I would
Races?
love.
was
Yes, yes. I
Yeah.
would love to see something like that. And Twisted,
I don't know what
Twisted
you're
Metal
talking
would be
about.
the best.
Yeah.
Be the best.
That's
setting
because I
to do
didn't
something
subject
like
you to
that.
Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
That's
Oh.
true.
They're just
Yeah.
It's
No
it's
one
worth
needs-
the torture.
yeah, I don't know.
I never even really grew up watching Scooby Doo or Flintstones. Or, yeah.
Well, that's yeah.
The Flintstones has a thing on HBO now. They remade it and it's done from Pebbles and Bam Bam's point of view. It's in
Huh.
its second season. It's cute as hell. My kids like
Are they
it,
Gen
so.
Zers?
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
God.
It's cute. It's cute.
Mhm.
All right. So let's talk about let's go from luscious Anthony Mackie to luscious Jared Leto. And I say that hoping he doesn't say anything because he usually speaks and ruins it. Just ask Will Smith. There's a new trailer for Morbius, the show that he's in. I will tell you, I don't know a lot about Morbius. I know that we get Blade from Morbius. This is a
Yeah.
Mhm.
this is a Sony Marvel
Mhm.
installation. So it's fascinating. He's a vampire. Did everybody get to have a chance to watch the new trailer?
I did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
What were your
did.
thoughts on it?
So here's the thing about
Mhm.
Morbius. Like, I mean, I guess it's fair to call him a Blade adjacent character because they're both vampires in the Marvel universe.
Mhm.
But
He's
really,
Mhm.
Actually, a Spider-Man character.
no, that's what I was about to say. He's
Yeah.
really he's a Spider-Man character.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is
he's a
one of
Spider-
those things. Okay. I do know about Morbius. I have read some comics that Morbius has been in. I've seen some animated shows that Morbius has been in. He is a tertiary Spider-Man character.
Yeah.
Of all the characters, he's a cool enough character, but of all the characters to give his own movie to, he's not even that well known, really. Like it's really weird to me. But the reason they're doing it is because so Sony, again, the movie rights to Spider-Man are really weird. Technically, Sony owns the movie rights to Spider-Man, and they're kind of leasing them out to Marvel Disney. Even though Marvel originally created the character, like they had sold the rights to Sony a long time ago. And Sony still has those rights. And right now they've been collaborating to make the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. But Sony also feels the need to make movies where they get to keep 100% of the receipts, which is why they made Into the Spider, which is a good movie, but that's why they made Into the Spider-Verse, because that was made by Sony, not Marvel. And that's why that movie has nothing to do with the MCU. And that's why they made Venom, although they did actually cross Venom over with with the MCU. But Venom still is in its own thing. It looks like Morbius takes place in the Venom universe, is what it looks like.
Does.
But didn't I see Vulture?
Yeah, that's the confusing thing.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was going to ask. I was isn't that Vulture?
I guess for some reason that universe has their own Vulture, who is also Michael Keaton for some reason.
Yeah.
And also in prison.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think they really thought out what universe this is before. This movie was supposed to come out like 5 times already, and they keep pushing the release date. I don't think that they had really worked out the relation between Venom and No Way Home when they were writing this movie. I think maybe they thought, oh, this and Venom, maybe all of this is just in the MCU, and we can just say this is kind of in the MCU. And then they established that Venom is just another part of the multiverse. So I don't know. It's weird. I'm not really sure where this is going to take place.
I think setting Venom up as a multiverse of the MCU sets this up to be that same to be part of that same multiverse.
Yeah,
and I think they're thinking further ahead, whether or not they use it in this movie, and they may not use it in this movie.
Yeah.
But I think that it's part of a master plan to keep those little workings going between Sony and Marvel. I think that they'll probably start handling some of the other movies in this different universe, and it'll keep us going back and forth instead of picking one over the other like we have done in the past.
Yeah,
that's just my idea.
You see, this is what happens when you fuck with the multiverse.
It is.
You get these conversations like this where it's like, oh, well, he's part of this universe, but he's crossing over to this universe,
and we overthink it. Yep.
Well, the fact of the matter is, the multiverse is a concept about which we know frighteningly little.
That is show.
The only thing we know is Loki broke it. And
also Doctor Strange.
Also Doctor Strange broke it.
And Spider-Man.
Also Spider-Man broke
it. Peter Parker.
Maybe Wanda broke it. Who knows?
I'm excited. I'm excited to have vampires. I love vampires. I've always wanted to make a vampire movie. I have a vampire script that I wrote a long time ago that I want to do, and I'm just excited for vampires.
No, I love
and
vampires too. Yeah,
and
I love vampires too. I love the whole thing. Not as much as my brother does, but
It seems that they
Yeah.
made a stand with the Vulture. I don't see that not being on purpose, especially divulging that he's in this movie playing that same character.
Yeah.
So
No, he's actually in a surprise twist. He's actually playing Bruce Wayne, Batman.
I'd be down for that. Can we
Damn
finally
you,
get that? Can
I-
we finally get that DC Marvel crossover?
Exactly.
DC is just the
I-
multiverse of Marvel.
I am actually still waiting for the long-awaited Amalgam Universe sequel. Let's have it. Let's have Spider Boy, Super Soldier, Dark Claw, which is the worst name you can give for the weird Batman Wolverine hybrid they did. But no, I want
Oh.
to see all of them
God.
in all their stupid, weird mashup outfits.
So, speaking of switchovers and crossovers and this, that, and the other, and stabs in the backs, hey, Sam, would you like to talk about this situation with the Marvel shows switching to Disney Plus?
Here's what's happened. All of the Marvel shows that were developed on Netflix, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Defenders, Punisher, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, in addition to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is also a part of this. That was an
wow.
ABC show.
Yeah.
All of those shows are leaving Netflix, that was the initial announcement, is all those shows are leaving Netflix. They're like, are they just not going to be able to watch anywhere? They're going to be switching over, and you're going to be able to watch all of them on Disney Plus.
Interesting.
There's a few things about this. Number one, there was a lot of question about whether Disney would have a willingness to have more mature content on Disney Plus. These shows, like the Defenders shows, have kind of been described, and I kind of agree with this, as being kind of PG-16. You know,
Yeah.
they kind of feel like within that, not quite R-rated, but not exactly PG-13 either.
Getting there.
And then
Yep.
Punisher is pretty much R-rated.
Yeah.
But what they're doing, and they basically stated as part of the announcement that they're not editing the content, but they're just going to do something where they're going to have settings within Disney Plus where parents can like kind of lock certain shows if their kids watch Disney Plus, they can like lock certain shows on their profile basically.
Why? The kids are just going to figure out the locks.
They will, yeah.
The locks just work on
And yes, yeah, they're gonna forget. The parents are gonna forget. They're gonna be too lazy to do it, and they're just gonna like bitch and moan at Disney Plus for corrupting my kids and blah blah.
They
blah.
have to at least do that so that the parents are still gonna bitch, but
Look, parents are gonna say, "Oh, they're corrupting my kids." If Pooh accidentally ends up in a dress in one episode of Winnie the Pooh, that's they
don't you
complain
hate it
about
when
everything.
Pooh ends up in your dress? You just
I'll never get that out. Not without bleach.
No, here's the thing. Here's the thing that gets me. They'll be like, they'll walk in, their kids are watching Punisher, he's like blowing people away, there's blood flying, and they'll be just like, eh. But then they're gonna watch Jessica Jones, somebody flashes their titty, and they're gonna be like,
yeah. Like a little bit of side boob or something like that.
If I look just right, I can see her side boob. There's something wrong with that.
Exactly. I think I see nipple. Oh my God, clutch my pearls.
I'm getting the vapors. I'm going down.
Look, I don't care how many people see their brains splattered all over everything, but if anyone shows me a nipple, a GD,
Exactly.
Oh my God. People are hilarious.
But
All
so one big thing about this, and they haven't announced anything, but one thing that could be encouraging about this is these shows have always existed in kind of a no man's canon of, is it MCU canon? Is it not? We don't really know, because the shows reference the movies, but up until very recently, the movies have never referenced these shows.
Yeah.
Everybody's seen the movie by now, so I'm just going to say it. A certain very good lawyer does make an appearance in Spider-Man No Way Home, which I definitely squeed at that.
Yes,
and
me too.
then a certain crime boss also made an appearance on Hawkeye.
Mhm.
it seems like, and they have those actors. It's the same actors, so they can easily just basically retroactively say these shows are part of the MCU. These are
Mhm.
canon, and they can continue them if they really want to. So
Yes.
Yep.
They're
That's what
taking a
I
page
want to
from
know.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
taking a page
Mhm.
from DC's
Mm.
shows.
yeah,
DC, say what you want about DC movies, but DC shows, they have dominated the TV.
Mm.
yeah,
And not
Mhm.
just in the past few years. I'm talking about decades. They have dominated. And one of the reasons why they've dominated is because they link them.
Mhm.
You know, you watch this episode to see this hero come into this show, and
Mhm.
and I think that they're gonna start doing that with their Marvel shows, and I'm pretty sure some of them are gonna be remade up and
yeah.
restarted.
Hmm.
Especially
Yeah, well,
Daredevil.
it's interesting. Like, well, yeah,
Mhm.
they'll definitely start Daredevil. I think they'll definitely start Daredevil again with the same cast, but like
Mhm.
kind of, but do kind of the beginning of a
Yeah,
new story,
after
but
the
still
blip
like,
and all of that.
but
Mhm.
still acknowledging
Mhm.
what happened before.
Yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
wondering what they're gonna do with because Iron Fist is, of
Mhm.
course, one of the shows that's coming over. I'm wondering if they're gonna do anything with that character because that show was so
It wasn't
not beloved.
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
I would okay. Here's what I want them to do.
Mhm.
Don't throw out what they've done as far as
Mhm.
like, 'cause if we're saying that one of these shows are canon, I say go ahead and say that they're all canon because they do cross over with each other. So just go ahead and say they're
Mhm.
all canon. But just get new writers on Iron Fist and just recast. Like
Yep.
just pull like they did it with Mark Ruffalo and they did it with Don Cheadle. They can
Yeah.
just throw
Yep.
throw a new actor in that character because
But then you're gonna
he just isn't good. He really
But-
isn't.
Yep.
but then you're
No.
gonna upset the fans that were loyal to the show.
Yeah.
And that's
Who
where
liked
problem's
that show?
All
Honestly,
five of them.
I
Yeah.
didn't. I
His
didn't
mommy.
mind- yeah.
You know,
So-
well, I think if they just get some good writers, I think that'll
Mhm.
go a long way. I
That's
mean,
true. Because
It will.
even
writers,
even,
good
even if
directors.
he stays in, even if I think Finn Jones is the actor,
Mhm.
even if he stays in, because like I wasn't a big fan of his performance, but if they get better writing in there,
Mhm.
then I feel like I could accept him in
Mhm.
even in the show.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He worked better in the Defenders series after all.
He did.
Admittedly,
But
he worked better because he was the butt of the joke half the time. It's like, God,
Exactly.
no one respects you.
yes, no one
He's a
likes
good
you.
actor.
I like the Defenders. I know that was a show that not everybody loved, but I actually really like the Defenders, and I
I have
kind of
like
want to
no
see.
memory of it. It like went in one ear, out the other. It was gone.
I
as
thought it
soon
was
as it
fun.
over.
I would like to see another season of that actually, personally, but
Mhm.
Right.
I don't like a lot of the Marvel shows. I think they're boring and
Mhm.
I'm not into them.
yeah.
But I'm on the outskirts. I understand that. I
Mhm.
don't know. I just think they're tedious.
I do think that
Right.
they're a bit padded out because like I was trying to like it took me like a year to get through Jessica Jones season 2. Like, 'cause I love
God.
season 1, but season 2, I was like, God,
Season
this is
2
a fucking
was-
slog.
Mhm.
Too much.
Yeah.
So they can feel really padded out. I had that problem with Luke Cage actually. I thought Luke Cage had too many episodes.
Yeah. I couldn't get past the first half of the first season of Luke Cage, which, to be fair, is also like when the quality of it like started dropping dramatically.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I tried to get into them, but
yeah.
I didn't like them.
And Iron Fist, I just didn't get far, partially because you have a man who's supposed to keep a secret duty of defending a city that he is now nowhere near, and he constantly tells people his secret identity. It's like, hey, are
I mean,
you
I-
random on the
I
street I just
finished-
met? I am the immortal Iron Fist.
Yeah,
Sigourney
exactly.
Weaver was the villain in Defenders, correct?
Yes. Yeah,
She was, yeah, liked her very much.
She was the best part of that.
Mhm.
I enjoyed the show. I liked the dynamic between
Yeah.
the different characters. Yeah, I like seeing
Yeah.
them come together.
And then the old lady came from. What did the old
Mhm.
lady come from?
She was Daredevil.
Daredevil. I liked her too.
Mhm.
yeah.
For me, she was the best part of Daredevil.
Daredevil is the best of those shows by far, in my
I
opinion.
agree.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Daredevil is definitely the best of those shows.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, we'll see what's gonna go on with Disney Plus. What's their plan?
Yeah.
I wonder.
Mhm.
Cut out the middleman. Poor Netflix. They're really dogging and going after Netflix.
Yeah, this is bad news for people who like Marvel but have a Netflix account but not a Disney Plus account. But you
This
know.
is true.
Yeah. It's probably the main reason why they're doing it.
Yeah.
We need them all. All right. So, exciting news. There's a new Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. Notice
Terrible
it's the
subtitle.
Secrets of Dumbledore.
Terrible
what gets
subtitle. I hate this
secrets.
subtitle.
I like that, but I like that they explain in the trailer. Zach, how about you take this and tell us about it?
Right on. So it's an exciting trailer, although I will say that as each movie goes along, they have to like keep trying to justify the Fantastic Beasts part of the title. It's like, yes, movie that's totally about Wizarding World monsters, and we're just gonna like shoehorn like a couple of those into the film. It's not really about that anymore. But so yeah, it looks exciting. It looks fun. Yeah, have some really good characters coming in. Loving to see Jessica Williams. Also love the return of Dan Fogler. Having the constantly changing casting of Grindelwald, as you had first played by Colin Firth in the same movie, turning to Johnny Depp, and then Johnny Depp gets one movie, and now it's Mads Mikkelsen. It's like, okay, at least Mads Mikkelsen looks like he's going to be doing a good job of it, and I'm like, okay, sure, okay.
I actually just want them to just arbitrarily change the actor every movie now.
At this point, they have to.
Not even because of
It's
any
like
controversy. It's just like in the next
Ark.
one, it's like Benedict Cumberbatch. And,
they just need to go
it's
full
like,
Doctor Who and just have him
Yeah.
like change into a different person
Different
at the end of
person.
each film. Yeah.
Yeah, have nobody acknowledge
They set
it.
it up. They set it up in the first film. Go with it.
Yep.
Although when
No-
I was watching
no
it, all I could
suicide.
think about when I saw Mads Mikkelsen was, his character from Casino Royale.
Oh
Le
yeah.
Chiffre.
Yeah, Le Chiffre. That's it. it's like, it's like
Yes,
if there's a scene where the main character is sitting in a bottomless chair and he's like whacking his balls with a tennis racket.
That'd be a significant departure for the series. But I also
I
wouldn't
could
hate it.
use magic to torture you, or I could use this rope to whack your balls.
Yes, exactly.
and then he cuts them up and cooks them into a nice gourmet meal.
Yes. There you go.
I
There
love
you
him
go.
as
Hannibal.
It'll become full circle. Full circle.
Just get
Definitely
the
evil
full
enough to be
Nicholson
Grindelwald.
experience.
Yes.
But yeah, looks interesting. Also looks kind of busy. Again, having the interesting detail of apparently Jacob Kowalski having a functioning wand, which interesting how that's going to work out. Apparently, Dumbledore has had the ability to give Muggles wands this whole time, but just decided not to.
Yeah, what's up
This
with
might be
that?
the reason why he doesn't do it anymore.
Maybe.
I've seen people talking about that, and I saw one person say something that was kind of interesting to me. It was like, which is, what if we actually find out that Jacob is actually a Muggle-born wizard who just never got found and never got sent to wizard school, and he just never knew he was a wizard his whole life?
That's
Could be.
interesting.
He's like
know.
Hermione, except without, the owl didn't get to him or something. It's
The
like-
owl
Well, it
got
was in
sucked into
America.
an airplane engine on the
Yeah.
way to his house,
Exactly.
like-
I was thinking maybe the owl was
Flat.
Errol, because Errol couldn't
Yeah.
do shit.
That's a distinct possibility there.
He's American. It's like the American wizard schools. They just
Yeah.
they're
Hogwarts
bad
is
about-
Hogwarts
yeah.
is efficient, but it's the American system. So if someone gets lost in the registrar, they don't bother sending a second owl or
Yeah.
anything. It's just like,
Right.
Well, do you know how fucking big our country is? And there's one wizard school. It's like there's so many people to send owls to.
Yeah,
goddammit.
that's true.
It is actually still on the way. We just sent it all the way from California, and it's an owl. So
Yeah, it's still flying. It's still flapping.
It looks like they are going to destroy that blood oath, because we do see them
Mhm.
duel in the trailer.
Yeah.
And the one thing that excites me more than anything is they
Mhm.
sit down and talk. Now, I'm really excited about that because I love the idea of the turned lovers subplot. And I'm hoping we know one of his secrets is the blood oath.
Yeah.
That he hasn't told anybody about. The other secret is that they dated when they were younger. So,
It's
like
some
I said,
secret. It's like that's
Yeah.
something. It's like everybody kind of knows.
everybody
And-
knows.
Like,
Everybody knows.
Also revealed in the last movie was that Credence was apparently a Dumbledore, and who knows whether or not Albus knew that.
Yeah. So there's another secret. It's fascinating to see. I'm excited to see where it goes. That little sit down was scarier than watching them duel. We know Dumbledore can't win that duel against Grindelwald unless that's the point where he gets the Elder Wand. Because at this point we know Grindelwald has the Elder Wand. So it'll be interesting to find out. That has me excited about it. Grindelwald's rise and fall is the one thing that I wanted to see more than anything else.
Yeah, and that definitely looks like that's going to be it.
Yeah.
So one thing that I noticed was that She Who Must Not Be Named is actually credited with writing the screenplay for the first two, but Steve Kloves is also credited with writing this one.
Oh, thank fucking God! Oh
Yeah,
my God!
that's kind of
That's what
necessary.
I said too. I was like, okay, I might be able to watch this one and actually remember it.
Steve
I'm telling
Kloves
you-
knows how to write a screenplay, which I'm sorry, she does
She can
not.
write a book, but she can't write a screenplay. They're two different
No.
things.
Yeah.
And that's
Very
I
different.
know, and it's funny because I was watching this trailer, and I was like, oh, you know what? I need to watch the second one. I've never watched it, and then I was like, wait a minute, I have watched it. It just like again, it was one of those ones that just like went in and out, and it was gone, and it just left no impression on me.
Which is
except I
weird
was like,
because there was a lot in it too.
there was a lot in it. There may have been too much in it.
I
so
I think
love-
that's actually the problem. I think there's too much, and that's why nothing
Yes.
stuck.
There was a
stuck,
lot.
I love
honestly.
the
It's a
two, but she
lot.
doesn't understand from her plot, from her books. She has all these different goddamn subplots, and she thinks you can do that in a fucking movie too, but you can't.
Nope.
Just
No.
because you can write a book and
You
become a
gotta
billionaire doesn't
simplify.
mean you can
You
write
gotta
a screenplay.
simplify for a 2-hour
Yep.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do.
Well, she
Yep.
may have the problem that a lot of writers do, and that's the reluctance to kill your babies, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
she may
You
not
got
want to, sometimes you, especially when you're writing a screenplay, it's like, yeah, that's a great idea. Put that away in your file for another story.
Yep.
You
When
don't
I'm-
have time. We ain't got time for that shit now,
Yeah.
you know?
When I'm writing, if I have a favorite joke, I automatically delete it and put it on a page somewhere else. Because I know that I'm putting it there because I like the joke and it probably has nothing to do with the plot.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you have to do that as a screenplay writer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
absolutely right.
I'm happy that Clovis is coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It needs it.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, he did such a good job. Like he wrote all the screenplays for the Pyro movies, except I think maybe one he didn't write.
Order of the
maybe-
Phoenix, I don't think he did.
Yeah, Order of the Phoenix he did, but he
Mhm.
wrote the screenplays to all the other ones, and he did a
Mhm.
great job adapting
He
all
did.
those movies.
Yeah, no,
He
those are
did.
really good
Me too.
adaptations. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. I think that is a show. Look at that.
Yeah.
Our
Look at
first
that. We made a
live
show. Oh, yay. We made a
So
Good
show.
show, everybody. Good show.
Y'all have a
So
wonderful
cute.
week and get ready for Nerd Shit's newest podcast. What's Nerd Shit's newest podcast this week, Sam?
So the one that's coming out this Friday is going to it's speaking of it, it's going to be Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Is
Hell
coming out
yeah.
this Friday. Yeah.
Speak of
Yeah.
the devil.
And you shut up. Yeah.
Everyone have a great week. I hope it's full of shenanigans and fun. Have an awesome week.
Shenanigans.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.